Tantra. What is it? The simple answer is that Tantra is about weaving a web of expansion with awareness, the weaving of two into one. Traditionally, Tantra is usually seen as two people uniting into one during lovemaking. Tantra is yoga for sex, the path of surrender, of mind sinking into heart, where sex, love, and heightened awareness become one. Tantric practices restore sexuality to its true nature. Because the true nature of sex is energy, creativity, passion, love, and spirit. Tantra is both incredibly complex, yet terrifyingly simple. Tantra is about experiencing fully what is through mind, body, heart, and spirit in each moment. Learning Tantra is saying yes to life. Tantra is about seeking to expand into life rather than contracting from it. Tantra is not a cult or a dogma. Tantra is a practice. People choose to both participate and interpret what they experience because the deepest learning comes from within you and is about you. You can also choose how much, be it little or large, and to what extent the concepts and practice you choose to take up. Every little piece along the way will offer something of value. Tantra becomes a lifelong love affair you can step in and out of as you are ready. Practicing Tantra is a way of life to become more consciously aware, self-empowered, and experience more freedom, fulfillment, and meaning in your life. Tantra integrates smoothly and supports many different ways and beliefs of understanding and approaches to life. You can learn Tantra and practice by yourself or with a partner. At Oz Tantra, we believe the ultimate place of tantric practice is in a long-term committed relationship, in whatever version of relationship you choose for yourself. Tantra is about sex, but in Tantra, sex is the beginning, a doorway rather than the end. Tantra is discovering your freedom that comes from being fully connected to your sexuality as your innate life force energy, the energy that actually created us, as opposed to merely the acting out of sexual freedom. Tantric sex is the beginning, not the end. There are many tantric practices, some that involve direct experiences of sex, and many that are outside of what we commonly think of as sex, such as open-eye gazing with your partner during lovemaking. In Tantra, working with sexual energy is more of a meditation and inner connection than head-based. Some practices are focused purely on spiritual awakening, mainly oneness with yourself and spirit. Other tantric practices are focused on heart and relationship, where oneness is with yourself and your partner. And some are about connecting lovers in an experience of spirit-heart connection, as in Tantra, spirituality and sexuality are very closely linked. Tantra is on the rise, with global interest in Tantra growing exponentially, and many forms of this age-old wisdom are being rekindled. We believe that the reason Tantra is currently having such a rebirth of popularity is fourfold. 1. People are desiring more knowledge about sex than ever before. Rapidly increasing numbers of people are choosing to believe there is so much more to sex than what they are currently experiencing and want to know how to create it for themselves. 2. Relationships are facing more challenges than ever before. Despite the plethora of self-help books, etc., people are looking for new ways to make relationships work, and Tantra really has something to offer. And 3. For many people who are caught up in the Western material status-focused lifestyle, have recognized how far from fulfilling that is for them, and are seeking more meaning and connection in life. And finally, number 4, declining popularity in religion with an increase in readiness for people to embrace responsibility for their own spiritual evolution and personal development are providing people with confidence and self-empowerment to explore their intimate sexual lives. Historically, opening our door into our sexual nature has been deeply shamed and shrouded in secrecy and fear. There are many classic examples: Catholic priests, Tantra and yoga gurus with their followers, and don't forget the orgies of the 60s onwards that left many people burnt. which is why religion coupled with society have tried to control sex for us. Learning not to leak energy, and particularly sexual energy, is a difficult task. Even for practitioners of the art and science of Tantra, it's still one that is definitely evolving. Regardless, it is time for individuals to take back control of their sexuality, their own unique and individual life force. Confusion and ignorance of the past have led generations towards giving away their sexual power and control to others, which has allowed some very cruel abuses, dissatisfaction and self-abandonment to occur. Wherever you're coming from in your journey of self-discovery, it will take courage and dedication to introduce Tantra into your version of sexuality. Our modern culture is still very confused about sexuality and often sex negative, with cultural pressures inhibiting sexual expression. The science of sex is understanding the mechanics, which is different to emotional connection from sex. But in this age of science and instant access to information, we know more about physical sex than ever before. We understand more about the hormones of lust, such as testosterone and estrogen. Adrenaline and serotonin excite us, and dopamine makes us feel happy. We have learned about the cuddle factor in bonding hormones, such as oxytocin and vasopressin. Endorphins, with their pain-killing and pleasure-delivering properties, are part of both of these stages. Sexual self-help books abound, and ads for Viagra turn up daily in our inbox. Daily we are bombarded by a multitude of sexual images used as titillation in books, movies, and as random images to sell everything from ice cream to tractors. We have instant access to a never-ending source of porn. Conversations about sex are readily available, with many experts on the pathology of sex. Plus, we know so much more about the mechanics of sex, but our corresponding levels of sexual satisfaction are not increasing as a result of more information. Something is still missing, because in all this intensity of information, we have separated sex from its true nature. Accepting our own individual and unique sexuality is a beginning and a powerful pathway to self-acceptance. Unexpressed sexual energy from trying to avoid sex through shame, guilt, or fear creates obsession, as shutting down on this powerful energy creates neurosis, ill health, and even violence. It's like we are enslaved by our sexuality and yet are not permitted to acknowledge or enjoy sex fully, so the hunger is never satisfied. This is a big part of the reason why porn has become so popular, but again will never satisfy. Yet bringing Tantra into your life will release you from the hold that porn can create with some people. Tantra teaches us how to master our sexual energy by discovering our own version of sexual freedom instead of being a slave to it. By discovering our loving potential through lovemaking with our partner. Traditionally, many people remain unaware of their own endless loving potential, yet as humans we are able to make love more frequently and sensuously than perhaps any other animal. Yet often after lovemaking there are feelings of disappointment. Why? The reason why is probably because most of us are like the owner of a precious Stradivarius violin we've never learnt to play. Because each of us are born with built-in abilities to experience unimaginable ecstatic states of consciousness and sexual pleasure. But how do we access these states? Exploring tantric sexuality is about peeling off more and more layers of shame, guilt, fear, and anxiety. Exploring tantric sexuality will create opportunities of connection with childhood wounds and core issues, allowing these to be brought out into the light and healed, restoring your self-empowerment along with your innocence and wonder. Our more than a decade of personal experience as Oz Tantra teaching Tantra to others supports the conclusions of Maslow and Reich. These conclusions are supporting the incredible healing powers and growth potential of deeply loving sex in intimacy and heart connection, especially in the context of a conscious, committed relationship. Passionate and deeply satisfying lovemaking becomes normal as we bring emotion into the sexual experience then rather than making it wrong or shutting down on this powerful source of feeling. Because when we feel the energy of emotion, it allows more pleasure to arise. And as Dr. Jack Moran in his book The Erotic Mind, he says emotional sex is some of the best sex you can have. By using the simple techniques of Tantra, you can experience states of being beyond the material plane, beyond the realm of our physical bodies, beyond words, and beyond time, pleasure that is out of this world. You can experience long-lasting states of altered consciousness when you have learned to open into intimacy and deep heart connection. Tantra safely fills the innate yearning of people in cultures of all ages for profound experiences of altered states of being, without the use of drugs or other risky behaviours. Direct experience with what can be best called the divine spiritual or mystical experiences, where individual seekers or lovers are invited to step into something larger than our everyday ordinariness. In this place, we not only become more at one with our lover and the world around us, but also more awake and aware in ourselves. At Oz Tantra, we have dedicated ourselves to teaching Tantra because we believe the benefits go far beyond simply enhanced pleasure or just getting high. It is our personal experience that when individuals experience a state of higher consciousness, they experience certain truths about themselves. The information they learn from such experiences will have a positive effect on their individual lives, their relationship, family, as well as a creative contribution to humanity. At Oz Tantra, we have strong foundations in emotional intelligence, holistic psychotherapy practices with hard-won personal experience to deepen our understanding, effectiveness, and integration of Tantra into our everyday world. This is why we advocate introducing Tantra into any relationship, simply for the practical healing of relationship problems and developing of a broader, more satisfying perspective of life, where you get to decide who you are, where you are going, and what it all means for you. With Tantra, sex definitely improves with age. For the same reason that Maslow discovered, you're far more likely to journey further along the path of self-actualization when you're more accepting of who you are. You're far more likely to have come to terms with accepting yourself and who your partner is.